Hello, welcome back to the Great Patriotic War. And I'm praying to God that I can get through an entire video with no audio issues, without Windows trying to update me to another version. But most importantly, we're back on the Western Front of the Great Patriotic War, and we're going to be fighting mostly today in the Southwestern Front, and a little bit of action in the southern part of the Western Front, although a lot of this is going to have to get reorganized significantly next turn when we get the Central Front into the fray. As it stands now, we're just kind of hoping to hold our positions kind of in this area here near Bryansk. But in the more southerly regions, Kiev is still under threat, and we have to fight back hard. Now, I would love to know if there's anything down here or, anything over here that I could deal with. But just seeing that infantry unit there, I know that there's at least a little bit of something there. In terms of scouting units, what I could use is I could use this cavalry unit and just see what he could see. But even my cavalry unit can't get that deep behind enemy lines. So I'm not sure it's worth it. But I suppose I could try something. Because I can move this mechanized unit around. Try to pinch him in. Because just capturing this hex here would be huge. But what are the odds he doesn't have that defended? Probably like 0, right? That'd be stupid. I know he doesn't have this defended. But there's no way he has it repaired yet anyways. So I don't know if it's worth it to even try capping it. It'd be kind of funny, but beyond that, I don't know if it's militarily useful. It's like funny haha, but not necessarily militarily useful. But I definitely want to leave something over here. Just a little scared of leaving a gap. As it could help us out if I could at least cut that rail line. All right, I think it's worth it to explore. Just to see what'll happen. Okay, so he's got a Mountaineer division there. Interesting, interesting. Wonder what he has right here. And if it's worth trying to take. Could I step back out again? I think I probably can. Okay, so he's got a couple infantry divisions there. So we know he at least has something. So this right now is a 12. I just can't fight it. All right, well, but at least we know he's got like kind of what he has there. And we know that those are probably going to be well supplied. But hopefully that makes him have to do a little bit more work. I'm thinking of just kind of abandoning that, letting him take the flank if he wants. Which I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let him take the flank. Because I want our counter push to come through this area here. Like, come pretty wide. If we're going to counter push, I want it to come almost like this direction here. All right, so let's see if we can make some reinforcing happen here. So we know we've got like barely one right there. So is this division ready to fight yet? It is. All right, let's get him back into the line. And let's take this rifle division off the line. And we'll refit him. Put the tank division back on the line. And we'll put this on reserve for now. Okay, I kind of like that. Where's the 10th Army? Oh, jeez. Okay, we don't want you to go to the 10th Army anymore. Let's give you something else. Who wants you? How do you feel about the 38th Army? What's the 38th Army looking like? He's not a bad general. Not bad at all. Not great initiative, but solid all around otherwise. So I'll take that. 19th Army. Holy crap, that's far away. All right. What do we have? What else do we have here? I know the 5th Army's pretty highly subscribed already. Kostenko. Kostenko's already served some time, it looks like. Most of these guys are going to their proper... All right, so you're going right to the front. So let's give you to an army. We'll give you to the 5th Army. Since that's kind of what's in this area. I really like that we're getting some fortification levels here at least. We're going to make this much tougher to push. All right. Well, we'll move the 26th Army back here for now. Oh my god, that's moving so slow. What the heck? Must have changed my preferences at some point. Yeah, he's really not that bad. Right, wow, still going up to Stavka. Holy cow. We're going to give all you to the 26th Army. They're not too bad on supply, but not too great either. Ninth Army has got a little bit too much under it. Wondering if I have another extra army somewhere. I think I do. 3rd Army. Okay. I'm going to bring the Third Army down to the Odessa region here and give him command of all these cavalry units, I think. Not Odessa, Kherson. All right, let's just bring him down here. Assign him to the Southern Front. Okay, so now the Southern Front is located here. And we're going to give the Third Army it'll basically be the Third Cavalry Army, because they're going to be all cavalry. All cavalry all the time. One thing I got to see if you can do is bring in guys already assigned to an army. I think that would make things a little easier. These guys go all the way up to the Southern Front. So we could really use another general over here. So let's check our commander's report, see if we have any HQs that have 0 units assigned to them. And we want... Just want to make sure I don't have any new fronts that I could use. I don't think I do. I don't. Okay. So let's check for armies that have 0. So we do have a few. Most of them are in other theater boxes, but these 3 here we could use. So let's check them in order and see who's the best commander. Conveniently, they're all stacked on the same spot. So this guy's good at infantry, but not much else. This guy's somewhat well-rounded, but just not a great general overall. And then we have the 34th Army, led by Prolnin, who is one of the worst generals. I assume the only reason they keep him around is for that interesting male pattern baldness and fascinating multi-toned mustache with that nice shadow. Like the facial terminator is just really strong looking. And you know what? He's got an absolute chest full of medals. So that must mean he's doing something right. I'm not saying he's leading his army correctly or anything weird like that, but let's go with Klykov. Klykov, he's a more stately man. He's just wearing 6 stars on his lapel and no ridiculous medals all over the place, but at least he's a 5 for infantry. He's got a 5 administrative. That administrative stat is really what I care about. So out of the 3, he has the highest admin. I guess he does have 1 less morale than this guy, but I can actually pronounce his name, Klykov. That kind of rolls off the tongue. So the 32nd Army, we're going to be moving down all the way down here. So it's going to be a bit of a drive. I guess we'll get him started. We can at least move him to Kursk this time. Well, is he on a rail? Where is he? I wonder if we could rail him further. Oh, we can. Okay. Wonderful. So let's rail them all the way to Zaporizhia. Perfect. Choo choo. And he is now a member of the Southern Front. Welcome, brother. You're going to be stuck on the train for a turn, but don't worry about it. The Cavalry Corps, I guess, since it is a Cavalry Corps. All right, all right, all right. Things are looking spicy. This thing does not have a lot of supply now, does it? I really want to give it some. Cool, cool. All right, now it has supply. Wonderful. Cool. All right, so all these lads now get assigned to the 32nd Army, which is fun. I feel like the fronts have such a low number that they can command. Southern Front. Okay, so pretty much everyone here is looking good. All right. I like that. I don't know why this guy's going directly to the front. Make sure everyone is now going under him now. These guys haven't gotten bugger all for their supplies. They are slow to build forts too. We do have 1 AP left. Wondering where I should spend it. Well, I guess we'll just spend it on a new support company of some sort. Man, I've eaten up a lot of these older AT guns. Build one of them. Do I have any free units available? No. Just some of the city ones. Okay, do I have anything to bring in from the rear? Let's check the theater boxes. This is where we look for refitted units. Not quite yet. We're getting there with some of these tank divisions, though. And once I bring them back in, we'll be ready to rumble. I am looking forward to having some more tanks. Got a whole bunch of rifle divisions almost ready, but they're still a little bit ways away from being done. Got a whole bunch of anti-tank regiments still in training. We've got a lot of sappers to bring in. So definitely want to start bringing them in. And a good amount of other random stuff. Okay, so let's just set our TOE to 100%. Okay, so we have... Gonna at least bring these all in. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so if we do 90 to 132, what does that bring us? Anything else? So we have a 92% anti-tank battalion. Might as well let that sit there another turn. It's not like we're in desperate need of that. All right, so what armies are these going to? Southwestern Front. Let's give them to... Ooh, we don't really have room in anything now, do we? All right. Wow, Southwestern Front is once again oversubscribed. Yikes. Shoot, I think we need this 26th Army to actually be a little closer then. All right. Oh, damn. I didn't mean to just do that. Undo. I just wanted to move the 26th Army. All right. So we'll give this mechanized division and 26th Army, so he's exactly 6 away. So that should work just fine. Okay, that works. Alright. Pretty much everything here is going to an army now. Damn. Whatever. That's fine. Alright, let's leave it the way it is here. I have to fly in some supplies for some of these guys. They're on such low supply. How is this still only 74%? Honestly. Alright, let's make sure this 26th Army has a good amount of stuff. So let's give them some howitzers. Give them the last of this artillery. And a little bit more howitzer. And we'll give them an anti-tank regiment or 2? No, just 1. We won't give them that. But we will give them some machine guns. We'll give you some machine guns as well, because you're on the front lines. Who else wants a machine gun? There's the 37th Rifles. You boys, you can have another machine gun. Kind of want to give... whatever. I think that's okay. Alright, so now we just gotta hope we can hold. Yeah. Gotta stick him on refit, I guess. Wonder if I can get him some supplies. Would be convenient if he was sitting on a base, but... Alright, let's move him up here. Stick him on refit. And then see if we can fly in some supplies. Freight shortage. So we need someone to come from... Yeah, guess that ain't gonna work. Alright. Well, I think that might be it then. Because short of having anything else to do, I just don't know. Like, I guess I can move this guy one hex back, and that might put him in a slightly better position. Give us at least a minor river. I could go a few hexes back. Go back to this river. Hmm. I'll stick him on reserve for now. Guess we'll just march this guy over here. Let's give him to a different force as well. Let's give him to the 26th Army. All right. Now that's looking a little bit better. All right, let's make sure nobody here is just going up to like the front. That's what I'm worried about. It looks like this tank army is all together. Together for victory. That's a cluster. Whatever. All right, let's see what happens if we run this. I think this is what we want to do. So basically our overall strategy this turn was to, just to recap in case you couldn't suffer through the earlier video, we wanted to straighten out this front line, so made it a little bit shorter, pulled back from our really risky position here. We did throw a couple of stopgap units near Veliki Luki, although if they commit any sort of real force, they can just bust right through that. We also did some rearranging of the front line here, but for the most part, we left everything the same, just to kind of sit things where they are. We desperately need another front in this area because these guys are just really disorganized. And kind of same here. We did reorganize this a little bit, but again, we need another front to get this actually organized. But where these guys are still just basically digging in. And then on the Southwestern Front, as we covered this turn, we did poke a little bit here just to see what was there. So now we know that they have infantry that is now brought up. The infantry will probably be coming up and around, maybe supported by tanks. But it looks like the majority of their tank army is still just going to push straight forward. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We don't have great fortification here, but we'll see what happens. Probably what's going to happen is they bring up a unit into here and an attack from the south, so thus negating our minor river advantage, which is why I had that guy where he was in the first place. But I don't know. That is now perhaps an untenable hex. But you can't have rivers everywhere. So well, I think we'll roll with it as it is. You know, we do have some backups here. These guys are starting to fort up pretty decently. And then we have a city, but it's not a city fort yet. So we're going to have to do that next turn. That's expensive, though. It costs 10 AP. And this turn we had to make up for the fact that we've wasted a lot of AP so far on guys like this. But hopefully this guy will pan out, and he'll end up being a really good general. Is the 6th Army a decent general? I forget. Valutian. Yeah, he's actually really good. So that's kind of our elite corps. But our right flank is much weaker. So we'll see what happens there. And that's that. Hope to see you next time on the Western Front of the Great Patriotic War. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we can make some sort of counterattack. But he has to do something now. This is going to be the turn where something happens that is going to determine what we do. So if he chooses to punch north here, that means we have to move our tank army to go and meet the threat, potentially. I really don't want to use the tank army in that way, but we just don't have enough infantry to bring in for at least another 2 turns. Eventually, what I want to do is set up another infantry force to defend this rail line. This rail line is our lifeblood. If we cannot keep this rail line open here, then we lose. It's that simple. So hopefully Pskov is not completely shattered this turn, although it's a very weak line. He would be able to just drive through it. But then again, he would have been able to drive through it much easier 2 turns ago. So nothing's really changed dramatically since then, but it's given us a little bit time to get up some fort levels. Unfortunately, it's given him time to get combat prep points. So, take the good with the bad, I guess. But I'm thinking that perhaps we will start getting, the second line really well prepared. And that should be able to handle anything that they throw at us. Anyway, until next time, see ya.